Show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver with you for a weekend racing preview. Beaver, airborne at the moment, winner of the Golden Slipper, the winner of the All-Star Mile last week. You ready to get your tips out today?
I am ready to get my tips out.
Oh, okay. Look out. Very good. Excited? Some tricky business ahead for these two cards.
Very tricky business, but the Beaver was all guns are blazing last week. Hopefully the punters followed a few of those tips. Shinzo, $15, $16 you could have got.
Yep.
Probably even
More,
better.
you could have got better out there.
Yeah. I think I got 17 to 1. And $6 or $7 missed the bright side.
Yep. And the Quinella, I think, paid 3 figures with if you threw Cascade in, which was which we were both quite keen on as well.
Yeah. I predicted how that would map out quite well.
We might get our Cascadian money back a bit later today, though. So
maybe.
We'll see what we do there when we get to the Flemington preview. But at the moment, we'll start at Rosehill, where the rail is in the 5 metre mark from the 1400 of the winning post, 4 metres the remainder. They haven't got the rain that was forecast yet. There's supposed to be some this afternoon, but I'd say the track's probably still good right now. See how much comes overnight, but I don't think we're going to get to bottomless by any means. So soft 5-ish probably with an upgrade if we get sun tomorrow, I'm thinking. Kick off with a midway, as we tend to do. 1,300 metres, benchmark 72 level. As usual, we've got a big, deep field here. Does anything catch your eye?
Yeah, sticking with my plan here of sticking clear of these races early in the day, given what we've got to come later. So save my money, just get a bit of a guide here and move on.
I'm sticking with the lead-up form through the last midway. I think Astero now drawn an inside gate sits closer. Zach Lloyd jumps on and gives you a nice side here. And probably one of the better runs in that race off the 2-year spell was Miss Einstein. Now second up, Dylan Gibbons on inside gate as well. Hopefully can sit closer. Is second up off a long spell, but around a $9 or $10. I may have a spec there as well, but as you said, it's a very tricky way to start the day. I don't think it's the strongest we've seen in terms of midway, but still tricky in the big field.
No.
The second is the 1400 metre Group 3 Ballyou. Brave Mead comes out, as does Bobby Shiraz, who's going to Queensland and should win up there. That was a nice trial. And Brave Mead, you've tipped as your best of the card tonight as well, so keep an eye on that. Also check out our preview if you haven't already. The Moonee Valley preview's up. Elliot who I met during the week. Shout out to Elliot. Agrees with some of our analyses, but you can go find what we think of the William Reid Stakes and the rest of the Moonee Valley card on YouTube and Spotify. All that being said, though, we need to talk about this Ballyou handicap. What have you made of this field?
Yeah, really hard race here. Hard to line the form up. Couple have won some races, but recent form of late has been there and thereabouts, but in better company. So it's trying to line up that form, which I found difficult. But I'm going for number 2, Dissect.
Okay.
Third up, I think it's ready to improve. I think just behind the place getters, the last 2, it wasn't a bad run behind Corniche, and then was okay in the Black Opal down at Canberra. I think it's ready to show its best, and this race sets up okay for it to do that. Drawn well, gets the right run.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad race, but I've gone with the Waterhouse runner out of it, the Years. I thought that was a pretty good effort rolling along up on pace as one of the main chances. I think my best result in the race, I'm just looking at the market now and it's been backed, is going to be Emertho. I've had an opinion all the way through. Sat wide and was pretty good in their size. Nash jumps on, who's in for a good day, I'm hoping. And inside gate, I'm hoping won't be back out. The back should be quite close to speed in an average race. I'm saying if we get $4 or $5, it will be easily my best result on this race. They're the main 2 for me. The third is the Group 2 Tulloch Stakes over the 2,000 metres for the 3-year-old boys. This is a shit race, is the notes I put. And so I've gone and found the Kiwi. Nash jumps on. It's going to roll forward. Chase sharp and smart last time out. Has the K's in the legs, getting up in distance. I think this is going to be very hard to beat here. From the main danger, Stroke of Luck, who did run well. Chasing Almania last time back to the 3-year-old grade Tom Marquand on, who I like. Inside Gate shouldn't be far away. They're the and then Major Bill goes into any trifectas you might play. I think that's the 3. They're the only 3 that are entertained. And I'll stick in that order. What are you thinking?
I've gone for the other one outside of those 3, Awesome John.
It wasn't a bad run, actually.
I thought last run was a good run, and it looks like a horse that wanted the 2,000 metres now and gets that third up. Nice run first up, probably almost should have won that race, and then it was in Group 2 company, only finished 3 lengths behind Zugotcha. I thought that was a pretty good effort leading into this. As you said, it's not overly a tough race here, hard to get a guide on the Kiwi. So I've gone Awesome John, third up, warming to this, set to get a good run, and my on top.
Beautiful. The Neville Selwood Stakes Group 3 over the 2,000 metres again comes up next. 2 key hopes. I'm in the market order. If we get a wet track, I'm going with Sunshine Rising. If we get a dry track, I'm going to go with Zarek. Even at that current price, we might get about $5 each. I'll cover both of them. I think Zarek's come back flying, but I've just got a feeling it does need a bone dry track to perform at its best. But yeah, as I said, if it's not that, Sunshine Rising might just nudge it out. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Zarek's come back in fine fettle here, and I've got it on my on top. It was a great first up win, and then backed it up, stepping up from the 1,400 to 2,000. Almost got there last start. Could have easily won that race. I think it's drawn okay here in the 9, so I can get in sort of where it wants to in the run here, and it's my on top, barring a good ride from Clark.
Beautiful. The Star Kingdom Stakes over 1,200 metres, Group 3, is up next, and possibly the race of the day. This is a cracker. How'd you go lining them all up?
Cracker of a race, but bloody hard to line them all up. Yep. Really open affair. I settled on both the blue colours, Bacchanalia and Altheric. They were the 2 that I kind of settled on. I thought Bacchanalia resumed well, had to sit outside the lead there at Kembla, and hit the line nice. I think that would have topped it off really nicely for this. So got that slightly in front of Altheric, but I did like the first up run there. Again, sort of sat just off the pace there and hit the line quite hard. That was dominated by the leader there. It was pretty hard to run on. So I thought that it chased well, and I think it will run another good race.
I just got a feeling a pressure 1,200 metres tests Altheric a bit. But I'm blue as well, but I've gone the other blue, the one you haven't mentioned, Gravina. It's come back well. It think about it, work hard last time, just nabbed by Quantico first up, now third up. Outside Gate concerns me because they have dragged in the past with this horse. I'm hoping for a positive ride from Nash. But right now it's $19 or $20 at the price. I'll be finding out.
Yeah, because you look at that, and I think you're right. The only thing that turned me off was the outside gate, and they will snag it. I'm almost sure of it. But if Think About It was in this race, it'd start favourite.
Yes.
$3 favourite, and it was only a length and a half behind it last start. So good call.
And the other resumer there is Waihaha Falls. It gets Tom Marquand. Was unlucky both times in, absolutely swims, so any cut out of the track helps. And again I think it's been a bit forgotten here. It opened at $8 last night, just a bit of money for it this morning. They're the 2. They're the 2 best results, and I agree with you about Bacchanalia. That was a nice return, albeit in a small field, but this sort of suits here. Very good race and a tricky one for the early quaddy players. The 6th is the Group 2 Emancipation Stakes, 1,500 metres for the mares. And I am going to stick with another tricky race. That being said, I'm going to stick with the import here. Joseph O'Brien's Board Overstatement. It's a group winner, a comprehensive group winner last time in Europe. Cut of the grounds, no problem. And it just pops into a race that a lot of these actually aren't going that well. We've just got a big clump of mares that aren't going that well. It's fresh blood. It's an each-way price, and I'm going to stick with it. What have I got here? It's been backed, actually, $3.90, okay. And then the one I went looking for and sort of had a feel for was Atishu, who has come back well. It had a really good prep last time. crawled a bit by barriers and gates, but was in the finish every time out. Trials were good. Again, we found Nash today, but they're the main two for me here in a tricky race. Didn't know what to do with this US horse going global. Started, its last 6 starts has started well in the odds on and bolted in 2 of them. I don't know how that American form necessarily lines up, but in an average race, maybe it's got something. It wasn't a great deal to the trials to latch on to. What are you thinking?
Yeah, maybe one to stay safe with. I've gone for Atishu. Resuming here, goes all right first up, has won before and run some nice placings. Hard to get a guide on statement. And at the $10, I thought Atishu just presented good value. Was honest as they come last preparation. First up here over 1500s, not a bad distance. If there's enough pace, it'll come down the centre of the track and might blouse them all. Beautiful.
The Group 1 kicks off the quaddie, the Vinery Stud Stakes for the fillies, 3-year-old fillies, over 2,000 metres. And again, this is a shit race. So going to the Wait for Age winner from New Zealand, coming off beating Campionessa, who's a talented horse. Comes here, gets a little bit of cut out. It all looks lovely, gets a nice enough run, pretty much where it wants with Mark Zara, and I think it'll beat these and beat these well. The only possible danger, as a market to suggest, is Pavitra, who did bolt in. I did go looking for the other Kiwi horse here, Polygon, but it did 3/5 of fuck all first up. So going to avoid that and stick with Prowess on top, one of the better bets of the day. What are you thinking?
No, I'm on Pavitra. That was outstanding last start.
And it's been, as you know, it's been one of mine for
it was really building to that breakthrough run. It trialled really well. First up was good, not far off him, and the way it won at Canberra, geez, that was impressive. I think this horse has got plenty of upside, and it's on to bigger and better things. It's going to run an almighty race in this. Mm-hmm. I think it's big chance.
Beautiful. It was, as I said, I've been with it the whole way through, all through last spring too. So now I've jumped off. Watch it bolt in. The 8th is a 2,400 metre Wait for Age Tancred Stakes. Allegron and Benner, who've come out today. Don't know if it's the most exciting race we've seen, but who's going to win it?
Yeah, it's not the most exciting race that we've seen, and I've found it really hard to line up the form again with this race. I've gone for the import, Cleveland.
Yep.
Just for one of, I just can't get excited in some of these horses that we see go round and round all the time here. So I thought it's not going to have to be a superstar to win this. Gold Trip. You've convinced me now. It doesn't win often.
Yeah, but this feels like its race. I'm not really tipping it.
Yes.
But
maybe.
It does feel like this is more its race.
Yeah, the extra distance
will
will
Sydney
suit.
Cup in 2 weeks.
But, geez, it didn't show a lot last start, which worries me. So I'm off, and I'm going for Cleveland. But, yeah, lots of horses here with a chance. So Lucan could bowl along and be hard to catch again. What do you got?
Sir Lucan.
Have
you? Had to tick that 2,400 metre box last week. It did that. Only got nabbed late too by a fit horse. Now gets the lead here and gets a quick backup. I think runs well here. What price? You're still getting $12. Yep. Agree with you, Cleveland. I've got there's a danger because it doesn't have to be a superstar coming off. We've seen how much them middle distance horses have us covered. So it doesn't have to be a superstar to come here and run well. And Montefilia was the best run in that. Out of last week into this race, in coming out of the proper stuff chasing, Dubai Honour, will always run well in a race like this. I don't think there's that many chances. Interesting, I had multiple looks at Vow and Declare because Nash is, I don't know whether it was a pre-existing booking, but has jumped on it. And he's going okay behind an informed stayer in Melbourne, but it just feels like it's a level below now. So, yeah, we'll go with the 2 there, 8 and 9 for me. The Doncaster Prelude comes up next, 1,500 metre Group 3. Capacity field again. What are you thinking for this one? Another tricky race?
Another tricky race, that's for sure. Plenty of chances, plenty of value. I've settled on Woonamet coming from Melbourne. I like the fact that they've brought it here. It's got race fitness on its side. I think this race sets up really nice for it. I think Crosstalk will make sure that there's enough pace on here, as long as it can get a good track into the race. Wunnamek's flying, it's letting down good. Hopefully it handles this way of going, and no reason why it can't win again. We'll handle any sort of track conditions. So I think it's hard to beat. I think Bandersnatch can run a good race, third up. I think it's going well again this time in. And there's even some horses down in the market that can run well as well. I thought Weewall was also building well, however you want to say it, is a knockout chance. I'm a bit concerned about Crosstalk being able to lead all the way in this.
Yeah, not interested.
I think 1,500 is probably further than it wants to go, but I may be wrong. With Clark on it, it sort of just held on last start at Newcastle. It started to look like it was getting a stitch in that last 100. Yep. Bit concerned in this field, and Waterford I would have had in there, gate 18. I think it's almost got to go back to near the tail.
Go back as well, yeah.
And that sort of concerned me, but it should be ready to run its best race this time in, so I wouldn't rule it out, but just concerned it's going to have to do too much.
I found the same horse on top, Wunamek. You can make a very strong argument. Should have won all its last 4 starts.
Yep.
Bolt came off bolty in last time, gets the right gate in a race like this. You want outside gates in as we've said for 3 years, want outside gates in your Doncasters and these big handicaps, and it gets exactly that. Goes on top for me. I assume Nash going on Skyman suggests it's Waller's top pick. Trial was good. A chance here, and the one that's completely insane odds right now, and I know I throw a lot of these out here, but Lord Ardmore's right now you can get 3 figures about this horse. Have $1 each way on it because it's getting completely forgotten here. 2 things: wrong stable for knockouts because Waller will have it set for a grand final somewhere else, and outside gate and Dylan Gibbons. But I thought it fit this race pretty well.
Okay, put $1 on it for
put
me,
in your
mate.
money. I will.
Put $2 on for me.
And I'll buy you a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
I need to run a place. But
you can have the place money. I'll just have the $2 on the win for me.
No worries. All right. Wunamek is on top, though. And we wrap up the last 1,400-metre benchmark, 88, where the market is in the right order. I think there's 2 main hopes. Tamerlane had to sit outside lead first up and was pretty good. Just nabbed with the softer run from Mautai, who did explode once it did get the gap there and is the main danger. I think they're clearly the main 2 here to wrap up the day. Substantial resuming for the Snowden yard. Next best. Trials were fantastic and does bring different form. So let's say 3 for the quaddie then. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, top 4 in the market seem to hold it. I'm going to give Fine Paint another chance, purely because I think they've derived a lot of benefit from that first up run. I was slightly disappointed, but I'm just going to give it another try because the others don't actually jump out at me to say that they were dominant over it last time. So they ran 1, 2, 3 there. So I think not much between all 3 of those. A lot of luck in running and who's taken the most benefit. And a nice jockey change. So going to have it on top, but I wouldn't want to turn anyone off. Mautai, Tamerlane, or even Substantial. But Fine Point on top for me, and I'd probably save on Substantial.
Yep, beautiful. The Rosehill Quaddie, which if you had, as we suggested, added Shinzo in, we would have got last week. So we'll kick off in the first leg, 1 Prowess and 3 Pavitra. Second leg, 1 Gold Trip, 3 Vow and Declare, 8 Sir Lucan, 9 Cleveland, 14 Montefilia. Third leg, 2 Skyman, 6 Diamil, 12 Waterford, 13 Wunamek. That'll do us. 18 Cuban Royale. And let's come home with...
You didn't put in Lord Ardmore.
I will put Lord Ardmore in my quaddie.
All right.
You may put Lord Ardmore in your quaddie. There you go. It's the Shinzo of the week at 10 times the price. The last leg is 6 Mautai, 7 Tamerlane, 8 Wicklow, 11 Substantial. And if 5 points here, again, you may throw him in at your leisure. You got a best in value for us at Rosehill?
Yes, I do. My best is race 7, number 3, Pavitra.
Oh, okay.
And my best value is race 6, number 4, Atishu.
Race 7, number 1, Prowess is my best. My best actually is from Nashville Willer, who I think I've tipped for 8 winners, so hopefully he rides all right. Including my value, race 5, number 4, Gravina. You get to my $100 later, but first of all, check out progretracing.com.au for everything going on there as we head to Flemington for Australian Cup Day and another deep card. Hopefully, plenty of value and winners to be had on it, though. Rail goes at 8 metres. We get a good track, and we're kicking off with an 1,100-metre race for the mares. Beaver, how are you going to start the day down south?
Yeah, good race to start the day. I'm going to go with the favourite, Varanskova. It flies down the Flemington straight. So it's always hard to beat there, and this looks like a race that should set up okay for it. As long as there's enough speed on, that should be okay, and Cerides should provide that. It on top, Main Danger, Mega Mia.
Agree. Yeah, on top for me. Tested Asfura last time, which looks all right here. And Daniel Moore's going all right at the moment. So start the day with the first favourite. Scortress coming out means Cerides does get a pretty cosy time up on the pace, and if it does produce her best from a couple of preps ago, may well give you a sight there. Trialled up, not too bad for this. The second is a Group 3 Breeders' Stakes for the 2-year-olds over 1,200 metres, again up the straight. Not a lot here, so I'm going to just stick with what's got me through most of this for a season, and that's Waterhouse and Bott 2-year-old. Comes down here, outside gate, should find the fence here. Oh, it should find the lead here, I should say. Imagine a little waddle up the middle of the straight there. And will be hardest to beat from Hell Queen, who did go back to the bush and had a nice win there. I think they're the main two. Not a lot else here, really. Anything from you?
Yeah, I'm going for Bossy Nick.
Okay.
Coming over here from Adelaide. I think that's a good pointer when McAvoy does that.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 20s in its first start and ran a nice second, and to bring it here, I think that suggests that they think it's got a little bit of ability. This is a pretty open field, so I thought about the $6 mark. I'd each way Bossy Nick.
Beautiful. The third is a 2,000 metre benchmark 80, where I'm going to stick with Summerbeal, backing up on the quick backup from last week. Once it got crossed at the Valley, it was just a nothing happening race there. Hopefully Geordie Childs from gate 8 puts a foot down here and rolls along and proves hardest to beat from Sparkle, who does have a claim. I'm hoping again goes forward. I sometimes don't necessarily trust them from that barrier. But if they do, I think those two can control and fight it out. You're probably going to tip Kettle Hill, who I've had enough of, but does get Mickey D and becomes scary as a result. What are you thinking?
No chance tipping Kettle Hill. Sparkle I'm sticking with. I think it will come across and sit in behind Summerbeal. That's the way I'd like to see it, and I think if it does and it gets a sitting shot on it, it can go past it in the last 200. So for that reason, backing on getting the right run here, and I think at the $5, it's just slightly better play than Summerbeal.
Beautiful. The 1,000 metre listed Hoysted Handicap comes up next. This is a race that went all the way around the world and maybe he didn't find the answer to, but who do you have on top?
Surprised the Bopper came out favourite.
So was I. Well, the first thing I said was I'm not backing the Bopper, so yeah
me
after
too.
that.
So I was like $3 for the Bopper, who had to go to Queensland to win a race. I think the next three, the sort of Callis on the lead and the Jumbuck are certainly the horses to beat. They go well down the straight and have good form there. I thought Callis was a good first up win, and I don't see any reason why you would hop off it. I'm assuming it will get some improvement out of that, and based on that, it'll probably be too good for these again.
I couldn't split Callis and on the lead because I think Jamie Carr just the plan was obviously to follow Callis in the last race. That was on the lead to follow it. Just missed. I think we sit close here from gate 2 on the lead, and I think they fight out the finish again, but I don't know which way to split them. So maybe I should look elsewhere. Maybe the Jumbuck is the flying horse up the straight that comes back with different form and beats them. So, short answer is I don't know. I struggle to split all three.
Yeah, me too. But that's
and a very fine red, I think, can run well here too. I'd be shocked if that didn't beat the Bopper home as well, to be honest. So there you go. I've tipped 4 horses. The 5th is the Roy Higgins 2,600 metre listed race, where I'm not tipping 4 horses. I'm tipping 1 horse. Goldman has gone like an absolute rocket both starts in Australia. It destroyed that midweek field. It comes and meets a field of beaten up old stayers that none are doing very much, and it should roll along. Geordie Childs hopefully gets the rev up to make it roll along at a decent clip where it puts a lot of these off the bit early. I think it wins again. I think the only possible danger is So Unusual, who's just flying, and stick with these informed stayers.
Yep, it is flying. I've gone for Goldman as well. I just think it's flying more, and I think there's a lot of upside for this.
Yep.
And as you said, it's probably just going to control this race and power away when they hit the straight. Solcombe was amazing, went last prep, but hasn't shown anything like that here. So unless it can turn its form around quickly, that may have just been a fluke.
Well, yeah.
So Goldman for me.
The 6th is the Sunlight Classic, 1,100 metre listed race. And it looks like Benedetta's coming here to take on What You Need. So we're getting a pretty impressive matchup. I'm sticking with the filly, though. You don't just do what that happened last time. Absolutely brain. It was a sales restricted race, I understand, but ran time, looked impressive. I'm going to stick with Benedetta to do it again. I believe they're going to head to the Sangster in Adelaide at some point. Well, when they run the Sangster, when they're at Adelaide, I suppose. So it'll win this, and I think What You Need will make it work, though. It was very impressive too. 2 key hopes. Looking forward to seeing who prevails.
Yeah, I've flipped them. I've gone What You Need. I think it'll be it was outstanding down the straight last time up. I think it will have improved from that. Benedetta is a horse I like, and I think it's got plenty to offer. I just think that side of the track might be, by this time, even a bit more beneficial. Down the outside, so gate 16 to gate 1, they're going to be wide apart. I'm guessing What You Need is going to be up on the pace and pretty close to controlling that there. So Benedetta won't want to leave its run too late. Maybe just doesn't see it get away from it there. That's why I've got it on top.
The Group 1 feature from Melbourne is the Australian Cup Weight for Age 2,000 metre race. What do you like here in the feature?
Yeah, good race here. I think there's a few chances. I thought Cascadian was a bit skinny at $3. I know you'll probably have it on top. So I really liked the resumption of both Nonconformist and Steinem. So around the $7 to $10 mark for both of those. I've got Nonconformist on top. Just it's a horse that I do like, and I just thought it was that was a great first up run. I'm hoping that it maintains its form this time and we see the best of it. So I've gone Nonconformist with Steinem as the main danger. Cascadian, of course, can win.
Yeah, Cascadian's on top. I agree it's skinny. I was hoping, in my head, I thought it'd be $5 or $6 at least. So he's coming off starting close to 30s last time. Hard to take $4 now, but gets quick back up out of a good race. Does have to go 2,000 metres off the mile there, but I'm going to be with it from Emissary, I think, who is going well this prep. Is built naturally. I imagine this is third up's now the goal. Hits the right race, right jockey, where I think it can run well. And you talked about the other lead up, and all respect for that. But going with those two in the Australian Cup, we finish with the next 2 races, 1,400 metres handicaps, where Elation's come out. So you can tell us who's going to win while I try and work it out.
Yeah, look, this is another very tough race. I've settled on El Rocco. I think this race sets up really nice for it. It's third up, and both runs this prep have been pretty good. In decent company. We talked about the Jumbuck earlier over the 1,200. Just wasn't suited there. Gets out to the 1,400 here. I think that's a good line. And then was good last start, albeit at Echuca. It was in the big race there and ran close up line here to Shock, which I think could be right in this race up to its ears. So I've got it on top. Hardest to beat Pinstriped.
Yeah, I can't split Pinstriped and Cardinal Gem. I thought they were similar lead-up runs. They bring similar credentials, and are now left on top from me. I think Not an Option deep into the prep now can run well. A bit of a drop in grade here, but yeah, a bit tricky. I was keen on elation there. 1,200 metres, benchmark 80 wraps us up, which I'll finish the day with a couple at a price. Cooled has come back really well again. It's been in fine form for a couple of preps now. I'm spewing a miss to go out to Echuca and win. But comes here outside gate around $10. I think runs well. And well, a couple of three at a price really. Bellinger's flying, as is the stable, again runs well. And Mars Mission, switching from Sydney down to Melbourne at a price, we might be able to get something back there from its last couple, where it maybe was disappointing, but was snagged from gates both occasions there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with my Yankee Girl, resuming here. I think it's the best horse in this race, and I think if it's ready to go, it's going to be super hard to beat in this. I think it sets up okay. It's got a good finish, and this looks like a good first up tilt. But yeah, Bellinger is my outsider in the race. I think it can run well as well, and it keeps just getting better with each run.
Beauty. What have you got for your quaddie at Flemington?
Yeah, quaddie.
Good luck.
Good luck. Got to go large here. Going to go sneaky tight in the first leg and hopefully get through and then back it up later. I'm going number 8, What You Need, and number 10, Benedetta, as my standouts in the first leg, race 6. Then moving into the second leg, which is the Australian Cup, I'm going number 1, Cascadian, number 5, Emissary, number 4, Nonconformist, and number 14, Steinem. I think they held the key. Moving then into race 8, the third leg, I'm going number 3, Pinstriped, number 4, Cardinal Gem, number 6, Not an Option, number 7, Superium, number 15, El Rocco. And then into the last race, I'm going number 1, Cooled, number 3, My Yankee Girl, number 4, Bellinger, number 15, Miss Middle Park, and number 11, Anilla.
Beautiful. Your best in value?
Yes, my best comes up in race 6, number 8, What You Need. I think that'll be super hard to beat. And my value bet, just trying to find where it was. Race 7, number 4, Nonconformist.
My best is race 5, number 10, Goldman, and my value, race 8, number 1, Cooled. $100 to spend after Beaver struck out again last week, mate.
Nothing did I get?
No, admittedly you had, you're probably unlucky because Learning to Fly went a miss in the slipper, so you didn't get the trifecta.
Oh,
didn't have Shinzo, you had a couple others. No, I went back and checked.
Should have backed Shinzo.
I thought you did. I just assumed you did. But anyway, I'll back something.
An idiot.
When I went back and checked, I'd assumed you'd back Shinzo. Anyway, $30 tomorrow on Cascadian, $4.20. $10 on Gravina at $17. $30 on Statement at $4.80. And then let's go 5 each way on Lord Ardmore. Put it to bed for the year. And 20 all up, Goldman into Prowess to, not that I'm a big one for all ups or trebles, but we'll stick with those two favourites there. What's happening in Queensland?
Yeah, Queensland got a few up there for us. Race 3, number 5, Red Kite, sticking there. I've tipped it to win recently, and it's done the deal for me. Race 7, number 3, The Big Goodbye. Mm-hmm. Race 8, number 9, Kips Bay. That's my best.
Yes. And
finishing off race 9, number 8, Briar's Kingdom. I think we can tail it back in that really good there.
Beautiful. A couple of good bets to end the card there. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at Adelaide yet, so I won't waste your time. Check out progetracing.com.au for everything going on there. Good punting this weekend. Great weekend of racing. AFL's back, NRL's chugging along, so all good signs for me as I head to the pub. Beaver, what do you anything to finish on?
Nothing to finish on, mate. Just good luck, happy punting, and enjoy your weekend.
Beauty. Take care, guys, and we'll talk Wednesday.